Good evening, my lovely dark souls. Welcome to 7 Days of Dark Love series on the Graveyard Verses channel. I am your host and poet, Keya. In today's video, I will be introducing you to a poem called Darkness by Lord Byron. This is a reboot from my first video from my Wicked Majesty channel, but I added a little more for your entertainment. If you like dark poetry, then go ahead and click that subscribe button to see what I have in store for you each week. Now let's get into it. I had a dream, which was not at all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space, rayless and pathless, and the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air. Morn came and brought no day, and men forgot their passions in the dread of this their desolation, and all hearts were chilled into a selfish prayer for light, and they did live by watchfires, and the thrones, the palaces of crowned kings, the habitation of all things which dwell, were burnt for beacons. Cities were consumed, and men were gathered round their blazing home, to look once more into each other's face. Happy were those who dwelt within the eye of the volcanoes, and their mountain torch. A fear of hope was all the world contained. Forests were set on fire, but hour by hour they fell and faded, and the crackling trunks extinguished with a crash, and all was black. The brows of men by the despairing light wore an unearthly aspect, as by fits. The flashes fell upon them. Some of them lay down and hid their eyes and wept, and some did rest their chins upon the clenched hands and smiled, and others hurried to and fro and fed their funeral piles with fuel, and looked up with mad disquietude on a dull sky, the pale of the past world, and then with curses cast them down upon the dust, and gnashed their teeth, and howled the wild birds, shrieked, and terrified the flutter on the ground, and flapped their useless wings. The wildest brute came tame and tremulous, and vipers crawl and twined themselves among the multitude. Hissing but stingless, they were slain for food, and war, which for a moment was no more, did glut himself again. A meal was brought, with blood, and each sat sullenly apart, gorging himself in gloom. No love was left. All earth was but one thought, and that was death, immediate and inglorious, and the pang of famine fed upon all entrails. Men died, and their bones were tuneless as their flesh. The myriad by the myriad were devoured. Even dogs assailed their masters, all save one, and he was faithful to a course, and kept the birds and beasts and famished men at bay, till hunger clung them, or the dropping dead lured their late jaws. Himself sought no food, but with piteous and perpetual moan, and a quick, desolate cry, licking the hand which answered not with a caress, he died. The crowd was famished by degrees, but two of an enormous city did survive, and they were enemies. They met beside the dying embers of an altar place, where had been heaped a mass of holy things. For an unholy usage they racked up, and shivering scraped with their cold skeleton hands the feeble ashes, and their feeble breath blew for a little life, and made a blame, which was a mockery. Then they lifted up their eyes as it grew lighter, and beheld each other's aspect, saw and shrieked and died. Even of their mutual hideousness they died, unknowing who he was upon whose brow famine had written fiend. The world was void. The populace and the powerful was a lump, seasonless, herbless, treeless, manless, lifeless, a lump of death, a chaos of hard clay.
Rivers, lakes, and ocean all stood still, fell down piecemeal as they dropped. without a surge. The waves were dead in their graves. The moon, their mistress, had expired before. The winds were withered in the stagnant air. Darkness had no need of aid from them. She was the universe. Thank you everybody for watching.
Be sure to check for new videos each Monday, and on August 13th, I will be presenting my own poetry.
Which I hope you will enjoy. So
Keep tabs with it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Thank you all for watching tonight's segment of 7 Days of Dark Love. Make sure to come back to the Graveyard Versus channel tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for another delicious, dark, and romantic poem. I will be reciting a poem called Song by Christina Rossetti, so definitely stay tuned for that. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the shadows bite.